Definitely.
So what do we need to know whenever we go to a farmer market? First of all, if you've never gone, just go, whether you're intending to buy anything or not, and just take in the atmosphere. You'll be amazed here. What do we want to first do before we pull out our dollar bills and purchase the first thing we see?
So you typically do want to make sure you bring cash, and don't bring like a large bill. You want to stick to 20s or under, definitely.
And some farmers markets, based on where you're at, will take the it's the EBT card,
right.
or that, and some of them will actually double the value. So if you're buying $1, it's actually the value of $2 if you're using that because it's a low income program that they got.
Definitely.
So
that's something to keep
we want to shop around.
Yeah, you want to shop around. So one thing is not only just shop around the farmers market, but shop around the farmers market in your area. Here, where we are at our flagship station in Milwaukee, there's like a bajillion farmers markets.
You can throw a baseball and hit about 4.
Southeast Wisconsin, different parts of Milwaukee, different suburbs, whatnot. So definitely keep that in mind. Maybe you missed the farmers market Tuesday.
There's one Wednesday or Thursday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday.
In the community next year, there's probably one on Wednesday. So definitely keep that in mind. You want to talk to the farmers. So if you have a question or concern or something, I'm going to go back to shop around real quick.
Okay, yeah.
You might go to the first table you see and they have rutabagas for $1 each or something.
Okay.
But then you go to another table and they have 2 rutabagas for $1. So you might want to shop around, or maybe like that one rutabaga for $1 is twice the size of like 2 rutabagas. So you kind of want to think about that if you're looking to save money.
If you're going to spend $20 at a farmer's market, you are going to walk away with a tremendous amount of produce. You better bring some bags. You better bring because there's a lot of produce you can buy at a farmer's market for a $20 bill. So keep that in mind. And that's the other thing. Talk to the farmer. I was at a farmer's market last year, and they had big, the paper that you buy at the office supply store that has all the leaves in it. There's like 10 leaves, that big box. They had 4 of those.
Printer paper box.
They had 4 of those, and it said freezer corn, which I'd never, we do this for a living. I'm trying to figure out some of these terms that I'm seeing. So I said, and they had a big pile of just the sweet corn on the table, so many years for $1, whatever. And I said, what's the difference with the freezer corn and the normal corn? And he said, nothing. We've got an abundance, and we're kind of we need to get rid of this. So I bought, 25 ears of corn for like $8?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. And it took, I think it figured out to be 12 cents an ear or something. I forget what it was, but it was 25, 26 ears in that box. And he said, we just have to get rid of it, and this is the best way we know how to sell it in bulk. And I said, okay, how much, here you go.
So yeah, that's an example of talking to the farmers, seeing what's up. Sometimes they'll give you a deal if they got some corn they're just trying to get rid of or whatever.
And if they're organic or inorganic,
you can talk
if they're organic,
that.
they will have labeling saying, because they just can't slap that label on.
But sometimes if they're not necessarily organic, you can ask them,
True.
Do you spray? Do you use powder? Do you use this? How do you grow this? If you're concerned, you can definitely ask.
And don't think that the 99.9% of the time, and they shouldn't do this even to that 1/10, if they are certified organic, they will put labels up. They legally cannot just go to the print shop and make a sign that says, we're organic certified, because then that's a whole lot of hefty fines. So they're going to publicize if they're organic, because that is a very hefty price in which they have to pay in order to get that certification from the United States Department of Agriculture, whether you want that or not. So keep that in mind.
Okay, so then you also, if you're not sure about something, you can ask for samples or recipes. I remember I first learned about ground cherries at a farmer's market because they were like, here, have some ground cherries.
What's that?
Here's a sample. And if you've never had ground cherries, they're delicious. But, so you can ask around. If you're not sure, say you see this weird vegetable, like, maybe you've never had rutabaga before.
Well, like last week a couple weeks ago, we had Wendy Keon Spray on. She is the author of the Chinese kitchen vegetable garden, Chinese kitchen garden, and there is a lot of Asian vegetables in which a lot of there's people in the United States and other parts of that are unfamiliar with what those particular items are. And they may be the most wonderful tasting crop in the world. You've just never tried it. So asking for a sample. They are very very courteous to you about doing such things.
So you can also ask for samples, recipes, and talk more with the farmers. Don't be afraid.
If you're having a problem trying to grow something that they have on the table, they will say, well, this is how I do it. They're not going to shy away and go, well, I'm not sharing you that secret. But, they're not going to do that.
And if you want to take pictures, like we take pictures of stuff all the time, and sometimes, like, not of the people, but of the produce, or maybe they have pretty flowers or whatever. Just ask before. And I did that once, and then this lady asked if she could have prints of them, so I printed them out for her and brought them.
It was a trade-off.
Yeah.
You want to bring your own bags. They do have bags and boxes available, but if you've followed anything in the news, a lot of these farmers markets do have the plastic bags that many people cringe in the environmental world about. So if you bring your own,
and it's also a cost to them.
Yeah,
they're not like, you know,
just because you're buying a rutabaga for $1, now they have to incur a
and
nickel.
That could be like a nickel, or something.
But if you a nickel times 100 or nickel times 200 or 300 over 26 weeks, figure that out. It adds up.
Another thing is, if you're looking for like the freshest produce, the best deals, everything you want, whether it be like the produce, maybe there's a bakery there or something, or this person sells your favorite baklava, whatever, you want to make sure you go early. A lot of these farmers markets, especially if it's a busy farmers market and you want to know you get that item, go early. So if it's something that you want to see, maybe it's your first time going to the farmers market, you want to see what everything is there to offer, I would advise you to go early.
But also now farmers markets are very similar to yard sales in the fact that if the yard sale or the farmers market closes down at noon and you get there at 11:30, there's not going to be much produce left, but you probably will get a better deal because these farmers do not want to take this stuff home because most likely it's going to go in the compost pile because it's tender greens. Some of it maybe would carry over if they're going to another farmer's market that afternoon or that evening or tomorrow. But you can get a good deal because they're wanting to get rid of this. So keep that in mind. For yard sales as well as farmer's markets, your best deal, even though the variety may not be there, the selection right at the end of the day. And speak up. Explain this one to me.
It just means like if you have a question, or if you maybe you want to know if they go to other farmers markets.
Where else are you available in the area?
Another thing is that if you like a vendor somewhere a lot and they were like, I might not be here next year, and you're like, why? And they're like, they're charging me too much, whatever.
Yeah, because they just don't show up in a park. There's a fee with a lot of these farmers markets. They have to pay in order to reserve that area.
So you could talk to a farmers market association. There's always a group of people, and you can speak with them and say, hey, this booth is really well, but they're concerned about the fee. What can we do? My family shop with them for whatever amount of years.
So if you've never gone to a farmer's market, certainly find one in your area and go and experience that atmosphere.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.